Further update on the allegedly lost migrants at the Alligator Alcatraz facility. It's a story we've talked about before, and now new information is coming out about where some of them, at least, might have ended up. And so we're going to turn to Thomas Kennedy, who's a policy analyst at the Florida Immigrant Coalition. Was interviewed recently by Democracy Now! Talking about this, and here's what Thomas Kennedy had to say.
What we're seeing at Alligator Alcatraz is basically a new model of immigration detention where a state-run facility is operating as an extrajudicial black site. By not showing up in these public databases, it is easy to deny them due process and legal recourse. People are deported promptly before scheduled bond hearings. People are hospitalized often. These hospitalizations are not recorded nor acknowledged by the state of Florida, the Florida Department of Emergency Management, which administers the facility, nor by the hospital itself. Even though we saw and we recorded and documented ambulances going in and out of the facility constantly, upwards of a dozen, sometimes a day.
So that's a lot of dark details right now coming out of there. We have to turn to interviews like that to learn about it, though, because Florida and the federal government just don't want to say anything. Reports have now been out for some time that at least 1,200 migrants that have been sent there in the past few months are just gone, unaccounted for. We have no idea where they are. And although it would seem, if like you're new to American politics or American government, that like you could just like request information and they'd have to give it. I mean, this is a literal human being. It might be a family member of yours. It might be a friend of, it might be your parent. No, they just don't have to provide any evidence whatsoever of where they went. And as I said the last time we talked about this, that leaves a few different options of what might have happened to them, and none of them are great. They might be there and just you don't get to know about it. They might have been deported, and it's now seeming like many might have been deported, which by the way, means that many laws have been broken because they had not been authorized to be deported. They might have just sent them out anyway, because again, the law matters as little as these human lives to the government of Florida and our federal government. It might also be possible that some or many have died, and we'll just not know about it for, I don't know, months, years. Maybe the New York Times gets in there, maybe Ken Klippenstein's able to interview someone, but there's not transparency anymore. There's no more concern for transparency than there is for human rights in this administration. And so for all we know, either mass law-breaking criminality is going on there, perhaps mass loss of life. We know that a lot of dark stuff is happening, Nina, and that's about all that we know at this point. What do you make of it?
Yeah, we do. And absolute power corrupts absolutely. Whoever said that, and I need to memorize who said that, John, because I use that a lot. And that's what we're seeing here. And the lack of humanity for these undocumented people, and they are people, and the fact that the Republican Party has so surgically painted these immigrants as the others. And we also know, John, that some people who are here using the laws as they exist right now are getting caught up in this as well. So this is not about doing things right. This is not about deporting the worst, of which the president promised that was what he was going to do. This is about driving fear. This is about control. And this is about painting other human beings as the other, so much so that you try to erode the humanity or the capacity for empathy for another human being. Now, we can talk about whether or not people have broken our laws as they exist today. Let's have that conversation. But what should not be happening is what is happening now, disappearing people, keeping the media out so that you can propagandize what is happening. That is what they are doing, John. And at some point, people in this country who purport to believe in democracy or think that somehow we're better than China or any other authoritarian type nation. When they teetering on a fine line right now, John.
Yeah. It's just so disheartening to know that like there can't even be congressional inquiries for the next year at least. Like we can't.
Because John,
nothing.
Because the Congress has abdicated its power.
Yep. That's it.
What kind? There's no I mean, I know when I was in school, I learned that there were 3 co-equal branches of government, but it seems like 2 of the branches that are supposed to provide the checks and balances are no longer checking or balancing. And we know that some on the judicial side, some of the lower courts are trying their hearts out. So I'm just generally speaking that certainly the legislative branch, because it is wholly controlled by the executive branch, has definitely abdicated its responsibility. And then the judicial branch, the higher up you go, it's what judicial branch. So I don't know, John, maybe the lessons that we were taught are no longer in effect anymore.
Yeah. We believed at that point that there would always be principled, strong men and women in those branches.
Absolutely.
And there aren't.
No.
There aren't. They're just lackeys and submissives, and I don't want to kink shame or whatever, but I feel like y'all need to kind of do your job in this particular case. Unfortunately, they're not. And so, again, we were talking earlier in the show, and I'll end on this. Oh, by the way, it was Lord Acton, Edward Dalberg Acton said that quote, by the way, in an 1887 letter to Bishop Mandel Creighton, apparently, as we all know. But anyway, in the same way that like Nina and I would have loved to have been wrong in our predictions of what would happen after the inauguration, when they announced Alligator Alcatraz, we were hyperbolic and said that this is basically a concentration camp. And what do you know? Literally just 3 months in, there's over 1,000 people that have disappeared, could be alive, could be dead, could have been illegally deported to Sudan or wherever. Like, could I be hyperbolic once? Can I have derangement syndrome? Because it seems like the only thing that's deranged is our country.
If you enjoyed that, make sure that you never miss another video by subscribing. And if you want a little more, consider hitting the join button and becoming an actual member. But you're probably wondering, why the hell would I do that, John? First off, calm down. The stakes in this are very, very low. But also, when you click the join button and you become a member, you get access to bonus content that I make every week, and it's a ton of fun. You get access to tons of custom emojis and more besides that. By the way, if you join at tier 3, you even get access to a monthly member hangout with myself and other awesome people, and we always have a great time. By the way, you'll get all that going forward, but you also unlock years of the back catalog. That is literally 100 or more bonus clips, top 10 lists, debates, and more. What are you waiting for? Click the join button below. Your support powers our show, and we couldn't do it without you. Or at the very least, I wouldn't really want to try. Viewers like you keep me here. So thank you in advance for joining.